Hello and welcome back to Fairweather Trains, and welcome back to another hopeful bargain unboxing from eBay. This was, I first saw this one when it was originally listed 99p start, and it had one bid on it of 99p. So I put a speculative bid on it of £25 and then forgot all about it, and then was surprised the other day to suddenly get an email saying you won it, perhaps you should go and pay for it. So I did. So I won it for £23 and some odd pennies plus the postage. As you can see, I've not even opened it yet. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I think I know. So we best see what I got for my money. One thing I have noticed though, although it's quite a small box, it's pretty heavy. So whatever's in there, it's either got a hell of a lot of packaging or is at least a metal bodied engine. So let's see if we can get this open. I won't bother ripping it all open on camera, but yeah, let me find some scissors and we'll get this open. Well, I've got to say it's very securely packed, but I've managed to rip it open. A bit of a Herculean effort, but I've got it open. And inside, and wow, yes, this is heavy. This is a Fleischmann, and there she is. Wow, that looks pretty impressive. That's a bigger loco than I thought. A 284, and that is heavy. So we better just have a look around the box. Apparently it was 11 quid at some point. And this is number 1324. Box is a bit tatty, but it would be, wouldn't it? But yeah, that's a meaty thing, that. The packaging, oh I see, right, the plastics come off the box of the window of the box. Not too worried about that. I think we better get this out. I've got a lot of Fleischmann engines, and I noticed over the past few months the second-hand price for them on eBay has got quite high. Once a year or so ago I would have paid about 35 quid for her, suddenly 60, 70. So I was surprised when I saw this one that starting at a 99p bid. They're always good ones when you see that, because you know you've got a chance of putting a bid in and then leaving it. So I put it on the track, and that is that's all metal bodied. Well, more than wanting to know whether it runs or not, first of all I've got to find out how heavy this is. So let's get it on the balance and have a look. That is a heavy one. $671 grams for a big steam engine or big tank engine. 671 grams. And it looks in decent nick. If I remember rightly from the listing, it said some rubbing on the numbers, some signs of play wear, but in overall good condition and a decent runner. So we'll find out about that. But I think that's really nice. That's assuming that's all metal. Even that roof is metal. It's so heavy, it feels like the only thing on it that's not metal is the glass. And even that could be proper glass. I bet it isn't, but you know. Anyway, so let's have a look. So smoke deflectors are metal. The chimney is possibly plastic actually. That part, which I presume is some sort of, no, I don't know what, is it the whistle? That's metal, that's metal, that's metal. It's got the screw in the dome, which I quite like because it makes it easy to get stuff off. The glass is a little bit out of whack, and there is a bit of rubbing on the printing, but I've got worse. The way I'm holding this is actually being to make my wrist hurt. Crazy. So it's got a metal bell, and that is metal. I think that bit might be plastic. It doesn't feel as cold, but that might be because everywhere I hold it is metal and cold. This looks rather good. As I say, I've got a lot of Fleischmann engines. Them and, as I've mentioned before, them and Riva Rossi were at the local model shop, which for me back then was Blackwell's, which was in Hawkwell, or possibly Hockley. One of those two, they're right next to each other. The Fleischmann and the Riva Rossi from those days were always figuratively out of reach and literally out of reach, because they were always on the high shelves to stop kids like me faffing about with them. And that's why I've got a good few Fleischmann and a good few Riva Rossi. In fact, I've got a lot more Fleischmann than Riva Rossi because they come up a bit cheaper. So this must be a class or BR65. It may have a light. Fleischmann ones normally do. Oh, and possibly here. So lights there as well. I mean, these bits, this type of thing that would often get broken off, I think you could possibly tow a small car with that. That ain't coming off easily, that. There's lots of nice moulded detail in there. It's got the usual red underframe, metal gears, dirty wheels. It's always got to be the way. Traction, I don't know if that's traction tyre or dirt. I mean, if anything doesn't need a traction tyre because of the weight of it, it would be this. Let's have a look around the back. So yeah, it looks like we've got 3 lights on the back as well. And a covered up tender, which is different. Nice vents on the roof, and obviously you can't see in the cab, but it's got the windows with the sunshade or whatever you want to call it over the window. Again, the printing's a bit faded this side, but it's not too bad. Moulded in what I guess is footsteps, foot plates, ladders, whatever the correct word is. The lining looks pristine. The usual filled in red running gear. Yeah, I'm liking this. I mean, we haven't got it running yet, of course, but yeah, the windows need adjusting slightly by the looks of it. Unless that's mouldings for handles for sliding windows, but it just looks a bit off. But it may not be. I'll find out, because obviously I'm going to run it as it is now, but I will be obviously cleaning the wheels and taking the top off to have a look inside, but I suspect it's the usual Fleischmann motor in there. So there's the water there, 14.3, but I can't read the units. What's that? Looks, the way I'm looking at it, is meters squared. Well, I wouldn't have thought it was that, but you don't know. something in Essen. That'd be the where it would be where its shed was. And let's say Deutsche Bundesbahn. I think so. You can see the moulding is really good, and that's moulded in metal, in the metal. It's pretty impressive. And this coal bunker piece here, I think is plastic. It looks plasticky, but in no way is it flimsy. It certainly doesn't feel as cold as all this does. And obviously this red bit here is plastic. Yeah, that does look in pretty good nick. Yeah, that does say Bundesbahn. It's really better this side, 65014. Is that BD Essen and BW Essen? Can't actually read that at the moment. Is that a screw there? Looks like a screw. Oh, maybe there's an extra screw on this to hold it on. Just have another look, see if there's one this side. I didn't notice it, but yeah, there is. I won't be undoing them until I know what the hell it does. Right, we need to get this down and give it some volts. And I'm gonna run this first on the in the sidings here on the H&M Duet. Just the weight of this thing makes me think it might need a bit more amps than some more normal engines. So let's get that in focus a bit, and we'll give it a bit of thing. We'll just stop the other two. Just take the noise away. Right, we'll stop all them. Get the points set correctly, and we'll give it a bit of power. So unless it's like a couple of these I've had before, it's a wide up backwards. This should now go forwards. That's the theory. Still turning it up. And it goes backwards. Right, okay. Or it doesn't move at all anymore. Right, let's try forwards. That looks like that just needs a run. It's a bit sticky. The seller did say he tested it, but apart from that he didn't know when it had run before. Because it was the same old story. It was a dead relative's left it all to him or something. Don't know how many times you hear that story, and anybody trying to sell anything where they can't or won't test it. Right. We've run aground on the curve points. Haven't noticed any lights yet, so let's go a bit quicker. Oh yeah, they are working. Yeah, I can only see one working on the front there, but I can't get the right angle. Right, I know that obviously the wheels need cleaning and all that, but straight from the box is working, and straight from the box we're going to give it a couple of laps. So I've shut off the Taurus and the other Fleischmann running on the upper line, but I've left that little Brava steam engine running there because it is doing a bit of a running in, and it's actually quiet. You can't really hear it. So let's see how it gets on with the Morley. See if it manages to blow it up. It's definitely freed up a little bit from when I first tried it. Well, Just going to give it a couple of laps, see how it gets on. It's not especially noisy at all, is it? A little bit stoppy on some of the points, but that could be the dirt on the wheels. I think most of the noise you're hearing from that is the table bowing under the weight. Send it over the back. Into the sun. Right, let's get it going backwards. Just give it a couple of laps backwards and then I'll get the wheels cleaned up. Get the top off, we'll have a look, see what's in there. Just a spot of oil for the moment. And I'll defluff it if necessary. No problem over those points. There is the odd stutter going on, but it's not that bad. So the initial impressions are good. That seems to run quite well. So I'm going to see if we can get the top off here and see what's happening inside before I make a decision on what I'm going to do with the bit of oiling and greasing and cleaning. Now, will that just come off, or do I need those end screws? No, it just comes off. Oops. It's got annoying wires. Okay. That's a bit of a pain. Right, anyway, you can see there it's got the old Fleischmann ring-filled motor. And this is all metal, apart from these red inserts. Plus it's got this great big lump of scrap iron in there. See the drive, or some drive gears down there. So it must have quite a long drive train to get from up here down to those front wheels. Because of that bit being hard wired there, I think I'm going to have trouble doing this on camera, but we'll just turn it around and have a look at it from this side. I've never had a Fleischmann with wires keeping the base and the top on, or you know, wide between the turbos. Better lift them straight off. So you can see some of the gears this side, and these motors are brilliant, and they're much smaller than the old ring-fields that Hornby used to use, and Lima, so they must be pretty efficient. Right, I'm going to have to not do this on camera, or you'll just get a load of shots of nothing and probably hear me swearing when I break one of those wires. So I'll come back to you in a minute. So just out of interest, all I've done is I've greased these gears, oiled all the spindles. It's a German loco, so I've used a German grease. They should know how to make grease for their own locos, shouldn't they, really? And the oil is, what is it, Labelle 108, I think? Yeah, Labelle 108. So yeah, I put oil and grease around the gears, oil on the spindles. I've oiled the other side of the drive shaft thing, the spindle that goes to the middle, that side. Also, you can see a load of gears down there. So I've oiled both sides of them and given them a load of tricks grease as well. So I'm just going to put it back together, clean the wheels, and then we'll see if it's improved it, but it was pretty good. But it did sound a little bit dry, I guess. So yeah, I'll be back when I've finished that. So there she is, all cleaned up down on the track. Well, I say all cleaned up, all I've done is grease it and oil it. I was going to straighten that glazing out because of the wires, and I haven't really got time to mess about with it too much now. I haven't done that, but I'll take the top off when I've got a bit more time, not to so I don't accidentally yank one of the wires off, which you know it's going to happen if you're trying to do it in a rush. So we best see if it runs any better now. It should do. It's very, very dry in there. I'll just wait for the photo bomb. It must be nearly done by now, I think. Anyway, let's turn it up slowly. Bit of a stoppage on the point there. Now I did test the conductivity of the wheels, and all the driving wheels pick up. Well, I say all of them, all one side, because it's one of those where the chassis is live and the return is on the wheels. Or the other way around. I'm no electrician, but you know what I mean. I think this is going to get my usual running in procedure, and I think that can only get better. It's not noisy. I'm just going to stop that other one. I don't know how old this would be. I think with the full metalled ones, I'm probably at the older ones, but then it's got those that type of coupling on it rather than the hook and loop. So I don't know. I know there's a couple of Fleischmann experts that watch my videos from time to time and give me so much detail on them, for which I'm forever grateful, because you can't always find it. And there's no paperwork with this one. I've got about 30 different Fleischmann engines, mainly steam, all different. But I definitely haven't got this one. There's always the trouble with the when there's so many 060s and 260s and whatever, and not being native to Germany, I couldn't tell the difference like you could with I don't know, a Schools and a Lord Nelson. I can't tell the difference. There's always the danger that you're going to buy something you don't realise you've already got, but I definitely haven't got this one. And I've only got a couple of other Fleischmann engines that are all metal like this, and they're big tender engines. But I think this is really nice. This is running better. So this is definitely going to benefit from a running in. And for somewhere around 30 quid, including postage, it's got to be worth 30 quid in scrap, to be honest. So we'll just give it another couple of laps. I'm sure you don't want me to be filming an hour and a half with the running in, but we'll just make sure it goes round. It does sound a bit quieter, a bit less dry. There's a bit of a stutter on those points. As I said, it does pick up from all 8 driving wheels. I tried that with the fly leads, and it didn't matter what combination, they still worked. So I'd like to think he's not going to stutter, or at least not for very long. Yeah, as soon as I say that, it stops dead. Now you can see that those two wheels should all be on current carrying track, but yeah. And it has to be said, I didn't clean the pickups. It was just a mechanism I dealt with. Don't be wasting your time cleaning pickups and what have you if it's not fit for purpose, and it's got to go back. So very slight stutter there. So we'll bring it in this time, although I suspect it will probably stop itself on those points again. I'm making a list at the moment of replacement sets of points I need. And there's one. Right, let's stop there. So that is the Fleischmann, I don't actually know what it's called. Fleischmann, I can't remember, BR. What was it, BR 65? I can't see it probably from here. But I have just realised from looking at the box, let's just zoom out a bit. That says 4064, which is, I assume that's what it was. But there's not enough wheels on it. So that's not a 4064, I don't know what that is. Which would make it even more helpful if anybody could comment down below what that is and what the model number is. But despite what it is, I think this is a winner for about 30 quid including postage. I said the package was heavy, and I could see from the label he'd done a 1 kilo package. And what was it, 600 and something grams? That's crazy, isn't it? But despite the weight, it runs really well. And I think if I clean up the rest of it, because it's going to be worth it now, yeah, I think we're on an absolute winner here. So thank you very much for watching. I'll add this to my Fleischmann stable, and also my cheap eBay wins, which have died off lately. The prices seem to have started to go up on second-hand locos. There's not much out there now, and once the HO ones start creeping up, because they're always cheaper, being as they are not sort of native to the UK, once they start creeping up, then that'll probably be the end of it, and it'll be down to train fares, which incidentally I've got one to go to tomorrow, so we'll see what we can get there. So thanks for watching. Let us know what you think down below, and we'll see you in the next one. And I was going to do the usual pull away at the end of the video, but of course it's stuck on the points. So see you next time. Thanks.